From the 409, sponsored by MCT Credit Union, it's the 409 Sports Blitz on 12 News.
Howdy, Southeast Texas, and welcome into Week 9, if you can believe it, of the 409 Sports Blitz. My name is Holton Pepper.
And I'm Nick Canizales. Let's get started with the biggest game of the night.
Absolutely.
It is our game of the week. The 100th edition of this incredible rivalry, undefeated PNG came in number 3 in the state, looking to bring the Bum Phillips Trophy back to Port Neches with Nederland. Will they spoil the fun yet again? PNG pulls out the bag of trips, 4th and goal from the 2. That's Jude Golke for the touchdown on the end around. And then second quarter, Tyson Henry has reservations for 6. It's 14-zip. Back come the Bulldogs. Slade Shepard bootlegs to his right, looking, fires, hits Tate Stoker. We have a 7-point game.
Oh, boy.
Nederland trying to make a comeback here. Shepard intercepted by Thurl Malvo Jr.
Can only imagine
Malvo making his way up the field, puts PNG in great field position. They're looking for more points. Connor Bailey back to pass, going deep for Golke. He is picked off by Devon Marshall. No points to be scored on that drive. PNG's Tyson Henry, he would actually rumble 62 yards for a touchdown, untouched. 21-10 at the half for PNG and the Bum Phillips Bowl.
Woo!
Hey, the trophy is headed back to Port Neches. They blow out Nederland 49-17. They are 8-0 on the season. More importantly, 5-0 in district play. Let's head out to Cameron Burchett, joins us live from Bulldog Stadium. And Cam, look, we knew PNG had to make a statement early on in the first quarter, and they did just that and just kind of rolled on tonight.
You guys, in the second half, PNG came back with a fire that Jeff Joseph must have set during halftime in the locker room. These guys came out with a final score of 49-17, as you've just said. And again, I spoke to him after the game, too, after the confetti settled here at Bulldog Stadium. And he said that they are excited to continue their undefeated streak, making them 8-0. He mentioned turnovers in the second half, helped them really put the icing on the cake, and said that these were vital. And again, it was such a great game from the beginning to the end. PNG started out the game strong with back-to-back touchdowns in the first quarter, and then Nederland scoring a touchdown as well. Now, whenever Jeff Joseph mentioned post-game about those turnovers that PNG had in the second half, there's too little to say about those. Those were absolutely vital, and the icing on the cake, as he said, were again, there were also 2 vital back-to-back interceptions from PNG and Nederland that really just handed the game over right into halftime, where again everybody was just holding their breaths when the score was 21-10. But again, the game ended and wrapped up 49-17. As a Bulldog myself, it hurt a little bit to go home with the loss, but again, talking about the Bum Phillips Trophy, it came in on a helicopter. I asked PNG coach Jeff Joseph, how does he plan to top that next year to bring it home to PNG Stadium? And he said, we won't. He said, we're just going to let them have it. So honestly, the Bulldogs didn't go home with the win, but we know for sure that there's no way PNG plans to top the Bum Phillips Trophy getting presented to them next year by a helicopter. Again, the final score of tonight's game was 49-17 for the 102nd meeting of Mid-County Madness. You guys, it was a great one, and they take on Montgomery next week on the road for a chance for the district championship. Congratulations to the Port Neches Groves Indians. For 409 Sports, I'm Cameron Burchett.
Good job, Cameron. Thank you so much. And, you know, she's right about the Montgomery thing, but I know this side of her cheek is just burning with that Port Neches Groves.
Hey, look, my senior year at PNG, we beat Nederland 28-7. At Nederland. Yeah, it was not even a contest.
But Montgomery, now you talk about that matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be a really good matchup. For the Bulldogs now, boy, they need to win out and a lot of help to even make the playoffs right now because they are on the outside looking in. PNG can wrap up another district title. That is going to be an all-out war. They're playing phenomenal. We knew that this could go either way. We knew, I was talking to one of the coaches earlier today. I said, look, it could be a blowout. But you know how this game is, just like last year.
You never know.
Nederland pulled off the upset, but PNG did. They did what they were supposed to do, and now it's time to see if they can wrap up another district championship.
And they're now winners of 7 of the last 10 Mid-County Madnesses, and I've looked to make sure that was correct. But yes, that is the case at this point.
And that's one of the most lopsided victories in a long time.
They did that again.
Very long.
2023, I believe they did that. It was like 41-17, I believe the score was in 2023.
So.
And then they obviously went on to have a pretty decent season in 23, you know. So, you know, hey, fingers crossed, I'm not saying anything, but we have another huge rivalry in this great area we call home, and it's the Beaumont Bowl. taking place out of Doglet Family Stadium here in Beaumont as the Beaumont United Timberwolves represented the visiting team, with the Bruins laying claim as the home squad. Sharing the same stadium, they also share the same hopes of grabbing that final playoff spot.
Yeah, you know, Westbrook and Beaumont United each at 1-2. BU actually losing last week at home, 25-0 to Barbers Hill. Westbrook Bruins looking to just move on from that Port Arthur Memorial game.
Yeah.
So this could be a make or break game for each team here.
It absolutely could. And just before kickoff, you could absolutely feel the tension rising on each sideline. Westbrook throwing down the U, United juiced as I've ever seen them before a game. And it even had the Chick-fil-A count jamming. Hey.
Doing the Dougie?
First drive of the game, Race Deschatel taking the snap, looking over the middle. And I do not know how this ball is caught. It's tipped in the air and comes down in the hands of Jeremy Campbell, the sophomore. United again, same drive. Deschatel rolls to his right, gives to Emmanuel Schaefer-Jones, and he squeaks between two defenders and down the sideline for first blood drawn by the Timberwolves. On Westbrook's first drive, though, they answered quick. Tam Anderson, deep ball to wide open Cam Chambers as the Beaumont Bowl is tied early on. United back out on offense. Deschatel with the jet sweep. Got a man downfield and on the wheel route, in stride into the end zone as the Timberwolves retake the lead. Deshaun Moore, the running backs, 14-7 BU. United had a good stop on defense, and here is Deschatel's probably best pass all year long. Double coverage in the bucket. I'm talking in the bucket to Ashton Henry with double coverage, and they go for two. They don't get it. They punch it in with the tush push, 20-7 now. Bruins trying to get a few before the half, and Anderson deep again to Chambers, and already set up for the score is the Bruins. 22 seconds left in the half. Tam Anderson takes the direct snap and is going to push the pile. We got a ref cam here, and sneaks into the end zone to get one back before the break. It was 20-14 United, and there is your final. The upset victory. Beaumont United wins this one 35-28. First thoughts.
Well, first of all, it's a massive win for the T-Wolves there. Westbrook Bruins, wow. That's two losses now in district play.
Yeah, that's a huge upset win. Congratulations to BU. That is a huge step forward. But let's bring this thing out to District 10 in 4A Division 1. The Lumberton Raiders are 3-1, hiding in that final playoff spot, but desperately needing a win tonight in this head-to-head is the Hardin-Jefferson Hawks, who are behind Lumberton at 1-3.
Yeah, you know, and for the Hawks to sneak into the postseason, look, they got to win out. They need a little bit of help. So could they steal a win on the road, or would Lumberton win their fourth straight game? And things actually started out pretty good for the Hawks. They won the toss, so they're going to return. So right here, this is DeCorian Warren on the opening kickoff. Hey, special teams, special players makes all the difference. And look at this. Finds a hole left side.
And
goes down the sideline. There he is, trying to make a juke. That's about a 50-yard gain.
Is that the kicker that got it?
Hey, that is. You know, kickers are players too.
They are athletes.
All right, DeCorian Warren, he's got the ball on the swing pass, but guess what? You got to wrap it up. It's punched out by Lumberton Gage Grimmer. Yeah, fumble recovery by the Lumberton Raiders. It's Carson Hendon. So Raiders capitalize off the turnover. Nick Craddock takes it. Look at that. Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, walks in for the
Big
touchdown.
time score.
So Lumberton, yeah, they're up 7-zip early. So then you'll see Chase Williams. Remember, you know, last week he had, 3 touchdowns we saw?
He went crazy.
He was just going nuts.
Crazy.
Well, Williams again, around the left side. Look at the blocking. Where's everybody? Oh, he hurdles like Zeke Elliott in his prime. Oh, that has got to be a play of the night.
Surprised you didn't say.
How about that?
22 from back in the 90s.
It is. You know, it could be Emmitt Smith.
Yeah.
Hey, right there, look at Lumberton, 45-20 your final. So they are, right ahead. And look, they're in the top half, that top 3 in the district. Yeah. Crushing loss for the Hawks now because they are almost drowning right now. And their playoffs hopes looking slimmer by the week.
Yeah, dwindling for sure. Talk about when you hit your stride at the right time. Lumberton now winners of 4 straight at this point in district, now sitting at 4-1 in district and tied with that second place spot. So, a lot still to unpack. There is an intriguing battle in District 10 3A Division 1 as the 6-1 East Chambers Bucks travel up to Kirbyville to face the Wildcats, who are still very much in reach of a current playoff spot, situated at 1-2 at the 5th place spot. The problem is it's not scoring for Kirbyville. They've averaged 42 points scored in the district games. but the defense has struggled.
Yeah, the defense, they got to tighten it up. For East Chambers, though, look, their only loss comes to that undefeated Harden Hornets team. So if you take that loss away defensively, this team has done actually very well keeping their opponents at bay so far.
Yes, they absolutely. And Kirbyville's offense, talk about them. They're a feisty bunch. They're will
good.
Keep you in a game, and I'm telling you.
They're almost like the Dallas Cowboys. Could score, but gives up a lot of points.
Yeah, defense. TJ Allen's been the difference maker for sure with the ball in his hands for the Wildcats. And here he is right here, keeps it himself.
That's a big man right there.
Look at that. Look, they've talked about him for at least a few years, talking about, I don't know why he's not the starting quarterback. And there he is showing you why he should be. 7-0 Kirbyville. But East Chambers now. J.D. Zerby hands the ball off to Kobe Jones, and he's working his way down the sideline or towards the sideline. Gets tackled there. Great play. And then East Chambers again. This time Kobe Jones again squeaks into the end zone for the touchdown. Now it's all tied up. It's knotted up. 7-7 Kirbyville. TJ Allen again hands this one off to David Fusel, who gets the outside, and down the sideline he goes. And into the end zone, Kirbyville scores yet again. 2-point good there. They went for two. 15-7 Kirbyville. East Chambers, J.D. Zerby stepping back into the pocket. Releases deep downfield. Darius Edmondson down the sideline. And he's down at the 1-yard line. Kobe Jones would punch it in from the 1-yard line. East Chambers 14-15 Kirbyville, of course. And then T.J. Allen passes this one, or gets around, and tries to pass it out and gets it down to the sideline. And look at that. So look at that. Wow. Kirbyville led at one point. It's 58-52. Did that one go final? It looks like we're still in there. But wow, what a game for East Chambers. What a comeback there. 58-52.
Big comeback there.
Yeah, big time. But we want to go ahead and tell our NBC viewers to flip over to ABC 12 to see the rest of our 409 Sports Blitz.
Yeah, now it's time for our Band of the Week. 3,082 votes. Nederland Bulldogs beat PNG by just 32 votes. Take a listen. We'll see you back after the break.
Band of the Week.
a good night for those cheerleaders, man.
Oh,
The upset of Westbrook,
Dude,
man.
That's a big, big win for them, especially in their district. Now, I mean, they got to be feeling really good going into next week.
Yeah, huge. That's a huge big-time win. But let's track back to 4A in a night full of high-flying and intense matchups with huge implications. The 7th-ranked Silsbee Tigers and the West Orange Stark Mustangs are essentially playing for the title tonight.
Oh, no doubt about that. You know, both teams came in 2-0. Tigers having the easier schedule to finish out the season. So could the Chain Gang defense continue this hot streak of just allowing 7 points or less in a third straight game?
Yeah, and here's your state. Brett wanted to show this beforehand. He wanted to show like the standoff.
I love the standoff. That's how we used to do it with Nederland, PNG Nederland. It was really, really good. Love the trash talk in there.
Yes.
And here they are. This is a Silsbee team that can light up the scoreboard in a hurry.
And they're big. Big up front.
Quaylen Dugas fumbles on that first offensive drive, recovered by Silsbee. Look, this is the Tiger offense that scored 104 points over his last 2 games. So here comes to Caleb Johnson. Back to pass, throwing it deep to R.J. Williams for the touchdown. Silsbee goes on top early. Then here comes West Orange. Dugas reverses field. Whoop! Where's he at?
He's so fast.
Goes to his left.
Oh my goodness, he's so fast.
Oh yeah. Oh
my goodness.
DB. He is gone.
Was that Madsen?
Absolutely gone for the touchdown.
Wow.
We are tied up. Here comes the Silsbee offense. Johnson. Well, he saw that on the sideline and said, you know what? I'm going to take it myself.
Looking like prime Vince Young.
Yeah,
dude.
it is. Hey, back in the old Houston Madison days, that's a nice first down right there. Didn't really get anything going on. Hardin-Jefferson, though, remember him last week?
Oh, my goodness.
This guy is a beast.
Look at him go.
Coming straight in your living room, guys. So Silsbee actually led 20-13 at halftime. How about this?
Wow.
The Mustangs come storming back. Now they are in first place with a 33-30 win. Let's take it out to Brett Strahan, who joins us live. And Brett, I mean, what a game. West Orange Stark comes from behind in a massive rivalry game, but a massive win for them in district play.
Yeah, guys, just an incredible game. And like y'all said, this one could very well decide district. And both these teams knew that, because it was pretty evident before the game even started. We had some chippiness before runouts. We had both teams kind of chirping at each other, a little bit of extracurriculars, but just really fun to watch these teams take each other on. Now, both these teams, they like to establish the run, and both of them did that really, really well tonight. Best way I can describe how tonight's offenses looked, it was trench warfare, man. They really got things going up and down. Both defenses struggled to tackle any of the ball carriers. So just a lot of success for both teams on the ground. Now, this one was back and forth pretty much all night. As a matter of fact, Silsbee went up by 8 points with just 10 seconds left in the first half in what could have been a backbreaker for a lot of teams. But after the half, West Orange Stark came storming back, scoring 3 unanswered touchdowns of their own in the third, just to put them up 33-21. Now, for West Orange Stark, the real standout was running back Hardin-Jefferson. What I have in my notes right here, small but mighty. He comes up probably to my shoulder, but he runs like he's about 6'4", 234 pounds, man. He's just stocky, explosive. He is very hard to bring down. He breaks through arms tackles, and he's just explodes through the line of scrimmage. He was dissecting this Tigers defense pretty much all game. They had a lot of problems stopping him. Now for Silsbee, quarterback Caleb Johnson, he has continued his campaign of being one of the best players in this district. He came into this one with 13 rushing touchdowns, leading the district in them. And he was a true dual threat tonight. He opened this one up with a long passing touchdown and had another one on the ground. But Holton, we talked about him earlier this year. You said he looks a little bit like Cam Newton when he gets going, and he very much does. I can absolutely see that comparison. Now, Silsbee, they do have a chance. West Orange Stark still has to. They still have to beat Hampshire-Fannett coming up here right for their last game of the season. So we'll see how this district shakes out. But right now, things are looking pretty interesting out here. This has been Brett Strahan, 409 Sports.
Great analysis, Strahan. Great analysis. I loved talking about, that West Orange start coming out there, being down at the half.
Yeah.
And then punching them in the mouth, like going out there and scoring 3 touchdowns. And he called me right there before the show came on, and he was talking about how Hardin-Jefferson looks like Derrick Henry. And I was like, well, yeah, if Derrick Henry was 5'3" and squatted 500 pounds as a junior in high school. Kid is incredible. West Orange Stark has everything they have. The destiny's in their hands.
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat. That's all you want. You just want a chance to control your own destiny. They do it.
They got it.
All they have to do is win out, and they should be good to go.
Yeah, and Silsbee, great team. Oh my goodness, still a great team.
But they have, like I said, they should win the next 2 games at
Yeah.
Silsbee. Now they're just hoping that West Orange kind of trips up here the next couple of weeks.
We'll see how that all plays out. But we did have Thursday night action again in District 10, 3A Division 1. The undefeated Harden Hornets, one of the more impressive teams this season, look to keep their stride against the Anahuac Panthers, who came off of Greg Neese's 100th career win. And this Harden squad is just unbelievable.
Yeah, Greg Neese, he was, we saw the kids last week. This would be a big win for the Anahuac Panthers. Let's go out there. They're at home. They're taking on a really, really good Hardin team who's been just like the Cinderella story of the year.
So we dropped things off in the second quarter, which was all Hornets, really, at this point. And a good reason why is because of Trevor Jones, man. This guy just does not go down. And if you set him up inside the 5, I think the good game plan to go with is to just give it to the big fella again into the end zone as Hardin at this point began to pull away. But his counterpart, who can have explosive runs just like he does, Javion Watley, here's the 2-point try just after he gets across the goal line and grabs those extra 2 points. Anahuac now out on offense. Braden Such in at quarterback, quick pass, and the flip back on the wheel to J-Twan Dowdy, but Parker Buffington would not be fooled. The senior there, Hardin with another chance to extend the lead before halftime. This time the Hornets try some trickery. But just like the play a second ago, the defense was foolproof. A lot of exchanging in the backfield. Bishop ends up and gives it to Ryan Hessler, who drops the ball. It's absolute chaos. Cooper Hutchins with a big hit, and he ends up with the football. Panthers take over, but time would run out in the first half on them. Hardin again set up in the wing tee. The give to Watley again. He runs closely behind Bishop and waltzes in for the score. Hardin, they make quick work of the Panthers as they remain undefeated on the year, which means now they are just 1 win away next week against the Cold Spring Oakhurst Trojans from claiming their first district title in 51 years.
They will do it. Mark it down.
So, this is a senior group, all right, and when they were in 8th grade, they were undefeated in 8th grade. We knew that back then, I didn't coach them in 8th grade, but I knew back then that they had a chance to be pretty special. They worked their tails off in the off season, carried into the summer. Man, it's just, I'm so blessed to be here, and I'm excited for these guys to be, doing things that nobody in Hardin's ever done before. And we're not done, obviously, but it does feel good to be 8-0.
Now, of course, they do still have Kirbyville at the end. I know they're playing Cold Spring Oakhurst next, but Kirbyville there at the end of the season. We know what kind of offense they can throw up. Defensively is the problem. Because Hardin does a lot of things behind the scenes back there in that backfield that confuses. It confuses me. I'm sitting there trying to film the dadgum thing, and I don't know where the ball's at.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine how a defense feels. Hardin, just an incredible year.
Oh, man. Everybody sets out and has goals to win every game and win district, go to the playoffs. But, boy, they have been a fun team to watch all season long, ranked in the top 10 in the state. Dude, love it. Hardin Hornets, congratulations.
Hey, you got
Keep
a fan
up the
in
great
me.
Work.
You got a fan in us. We love to see it. But let's go ahead and jump in to some of those other scores because we got a lot to get
Dude, we have a lot of scores. Let's check out Koontz. How about this? Defensive showdown, 7-6 over Anderson Shiro. So, wow. Buna goes on the road, falls by 2 to Cold Spring Oakhurst, 22-20, your final.
And then we move on, and there's Deweyville, who had lost to Evadale just a week ago, 44-34 the final. West Hardin still putting up 34 points, but Jasper, just another unfortunate loss for them. They're going to get older. They're going to get better. Shepherd there with the win, 32-7. And the 409 Sports Blitz is going to be right back in just a minute.
Yeah, stay with us.
Welcome back to the 409 Sports Blitz. This night is slap full of majestic matchups. In District 10, 4A Division 1 brings us back to Larry Ward Stadium as the undefeated Cards host Eric Peavy's Little Cypress Mauriceville Bears, who sit undefeated in District as well.
Yeah, look, anything can happen in this game. LCM kind of started to get healthy at the right time, just like we saw last year with the Bears squad. Look, a tough non-district schedule actually helped them set up this matchup for this potential district championship. I'm telling you, throw the records out. It was a dogfight tonight.
And if you remember last year, this game went down to the wire as the Bears pulled away with a victory 21-18 on their way to a district title. BC, on the other hand, that loss hurt them in the long run, ended up losing 3 of the next 4 if you include the playoffs and the loss to LCM. But Jackson Strew trying to keep the play alive and gives it to Caden Reed, his trusty receiver. Great play to help move the chains for the Bears. And now Hudson Hoffman throws out to Luke Nelson. Yep, move the chains again for the Bridge City Cardinals. LCM on the brink of scoring here. Handoff to Jalen Morris, who tries snatching one and finds the hole and crosses for the tutty. Bears go on top. Bears offense drive here again, but a much different result as the handoff to Morris gets stuffed by Asher Richardson. That'll get the Cardinal faithful rowdy out there.
No doubt about that.
R-O-W-D-Y, right? Is that how it goes?
Oh, yeah.
And what a weapon the Bears have in Reed. The handoff to the receiver. And look at the speed. Just doesn't get past that last defender. Otherwise, would have been a house call. Strew again throws to Parker Freeman, who gets off of one man, keeps his feet moving, gets to the sideline, and gets knocked out. They're out of bounds. Big man run right there. LCM set up again. It was 17-0 lead at the half for the Bears. Let's go to the big board. 24-16.
This was a 24-0 game at one point.
Yes.
So Bridge City, the fight in them, they come back. They lose by a score, but how about those LCM battling Bears?
Once again, this is like almost copy-paste of what they did last year. Had a really tough non-district schedule and then came into the season and just started playing their type of football that Eric Peavy coaches out there. And now here they are sitting undefeated in district, remaining at the top.
Like a quiet.
Very quiet, like just not very talked about.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, absolutely not.
That's how you want it.
That's how, exactly. Remain under the radar, but I doubt they're under the radar anymore.
Oh, now. Yeah.
Definitely
big old
not
bullseye on their back now.
Absolutely. But I think Coach Peavy knows.
Oh, yeah, he loves it.
He's fine with that. He's fine with that. Longhorns locking horns out in Tarkington as Hampshire-Fannett was on the road tonight in what could have been a historic night for a special someone.
Head coach Mark Wagner, great guy, sitting on career win number 199. So look, a win would not only give him 200 for his career, but it keeps him deadlocked with the Silsbee Tigers for second place in that district. Horns came in as massive favorites tonight. They did exactly what everybody expected them to do, score and score a lot. They get on the scoreboard early. Jess Folsom runs in for the touchdown. It is 7-0. Thank you to my brother for all these highlights here.
Absolutely.
Next possession, Jeff Folsom, you saw that. Here he comes again. Yeah, 14-0 Hampshire-Fannett. So later, let's get the passing game going a little bit. Remember Blake Broussard, he had a heck of a summer at the 7-on-7. Rolls to his left, has all kinds of time, runs to his right, finds Pierce Pirtle. The lead swells to 21. Hey, I love this. They give the offensive line some love here.
Man.
Landon Batiste, the big man touchdown.
Big man.
Like Refrigerator Perry in the Super Bowl back in '85.
Yes, sir.
Boy, they won big. 65-0. Hampshire-Fannett wins. Wow, big win at Tarkington.
Tarkington. That's a tough. It's been a tough year for them. They lost to, I don't even remember what the score was last week to Silsbee. I think it was like 49-0 at half to Silsbee, and Silsbee we know is a good team. And now you have Hampshire-Fannett, who still has a big one.
Oh yeah, they still got West Orange Stark. They still got that dangling in the
on the road.
Silsbee,
You're going back to Mustang territory. So Mustangs this year, getting to play some more games at home, and it's turned out to be pretty beneficial for them.
Oh, no doubt about that. Plus, that game could end up maybe being a top 2 seed. Who knows? It might be a three-way tie for first place when it gets to that point.
Oh, my gosh.
You never know.
Me and Brett were talking about that today, just thinking, wow, like with this district, they go by points, and then it gets messy. You're like head-to-head matchups and this and that. And then
the seeding gets wild because, you want to have those top 2 seeds. You don't want to be a third or even a fourth.
Yeah, but that district, I think either Hampshire and Silsbee and West Orange, those 3 teams are very capable of going several rounds
easily
deep into the playoffs. But let's go ahead and jump in to our hit of the week.
Hit of the week, sponsored by First Security Bank.
We're going back out to Thursday night action. This little trickery play that Hardin tried to do. Cooper Hutchins lays the big hit and gets the fumble as well. So we got the fumble and the fumble recovery. Cooper Hutchins, of course, Hardin goes on to win that one 38-0. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 409 Sports Blitz. Down in the land of 2A, the Evadale Rebels got a huge win last week against the Louisville Pirates in the River Bowl, and now comes once again tonight another matchup that could make or break a district champion as they face the West Sabine Tigers, both undefeated in district play.
Yeah, the Rebels, they were down. Hey, we shot the first half last week, got Deweyville with a lot of touchdowns. We weren't there for the second half, but Evadale did win.
They did.
Hey, listen, let's see if we have some Evadale stats here today going in tonight. This is a big game against West Sabine here.
Huge game, huge clash. And they did win in 2021 as well, the River Bowl. I do want to throw that out there. So let's look at the first half highlights. The Rebels might find it difficult to stop this really powerful offense, and there it is right there on the play. Tigers with the possession to start things. The throwing catch, Gavin Maxfield knocks it loose, and Gunnar Lowe pounces on it. Evadale takes it over on the fumble recovery. Rebs on offense, Brett Buckner throws out route to Maxfield, who had forced the fumble in that previous play, and he gets the sideline and is gone for the Evadale touchdown. This one, unfortunately though, for the Rebels, got out of hand quick. As for the fifth week, the Tigers have thrown up a big number on the scoreboard as they got to Evadale tonight, 56-27. So likely going to see West Sabine lay claim to the title after being the runner-up last season. And if that is the case, it will be the first since 2014 for West Sabine when they were co-district champions. If they win it outright, that will be the first since 2013. I
know, undefeated now. Evadale goes to Coleman-Hill next week before hosting Holday Zeta. But yeah, that one right now is West Sabine in first, Deweyville in second at 4-2. You have Evadale at 3-1, and then Coleman-Hill and West Hardin at 2-2, duking it out for that fourth and final playoff spot. 2 games left to go. It's going to be wild. You better buckle up in that district.
Yeah, still a lot left to decide upon as far as lower seedings go and to get into the playoffs. We had a bunch of great games around Southeast Texas.
Yeah, let's start off here with some, how about this, Port Arthur Memorial. Again, shuts out Lufkin on the road 30-0. The Vider Pirates, I know our producer Corbin Lee, she was cheering up and down tonight with that big win, 48-19 over the Liberty Panthers.
What a great win for Vida there. Woodville, after the week, of course, against Newton, they're just trying to flush that as much as they can and get to that second place spot in that district, 34-21 over New Waverly. And speaking of the Newton Eagles, 62-0. That is what, 3 or 4 weeks in a row?
That's third straight game that they've scored over 60. They've scored 134 points in 2 straight. They scored 72, 72, and now 62.
But that is 100%, at least for sure. That's back-to-back weeks of them going into the half being
yes,
up
and also on a quick note, they have now shut out their opponents in 3 of the last 4 games. So, I mean, they're playing as good as anybody.
Yeah,
right now.
If you go back to week 1 when they played West Orange Stark, after the game was over, Coach Hickman, all those guys that were on the sideline that had coached West Orange to get them back in that. Because you remember, Newton was up at half, 24-12, I believe, at the half. And coming back out, of course, West Orange Stark kind of had a copy-paste of week 1, and they ended up winning the game. But they said, hey, that Newton squad, they're going to win a lot of games this year.
And that's what they're doing right now. Hey, it's time for our Play of the Week.
Play of the Week.
All right, we're going to rewind because Chase Williams, a lot of touchdowns last week. Zeke Elliott in his rookie year. Look at that. The leap, the touchdown. Woo! Those Lumberton Raiders, they knock off Hardin-Jefferson Hawks tonight. The L train is rolling. And they are playing so good this season.
Lumberton's playing great, man. We'll be right back after the break. And welcome back to the 409 Sports Blitz.
All right, let's look ahead to next week's games. We got some big games out there, including our game of the week, Orangefield at East Chambers.
Orangefield coming off of the bye week, definitely looking to continue the pace and hope and keep their fingers crossed that Hardin somehow stubs their toe to give them a shot at getting back into that district race.
All right, Port Arthur Memorial, can they stay undefeated? They got Baytown Sterling coming in town. Beaumont United after that big win over Westbrook tonight, hosting Lufkin, Hampshire-Fannett. They're going to welcome Shepherd to town. You know, Shepherd has lost to West Orange Stark. They got off to a really good season. And then, Hampshire-Fannett, so that's going to be a good game.
And then you see that one right there, yeah.
That's going to be a really good one. Hargrave and LCM.
That game last year actually ended up deciding your district champion. So LCM, a chance to keep the foot on the gas because you do realize, I mean, they are sitting LCM at 5-0 in district, Huffman at 4-1, tied, three-way tie for that second place spot, if you will, but it doesn't really matter. It matters for seeding, obviously, but if LCM does stub their toe, you could potentially have a tapestry of all these different teams sitting at the top, 4 different teams tied up there. So LCM's still job not done yet. It's been passed with Deweyville and Jasper and Silsbee, obviously. Silsbee looking to erase this week, obviously. And then rounding things out, Bridge City versus Liberty. Again, a team wanting to get back in their winning ways for that one. But that, my friends, concludes a crazy night of the Blitz. I hope you all enjoyed it the way that we do. You can watch highlights from tonight and across the state on Texas high school football now on 12 News Plus, which you can download on your TV and watch for free.
Yeah, and also go on YouTube. Go on our 12 News YouTube channel and 12 News app. We got everything. So here's, we're going to wrap it up with another performance from our band of the week, the Nederland Bulldogs. Everybody have a great weekend.